What's up, everybody? It's Alex Leak and Friends NFL Podcast, back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Malcom and IllWill on the show, two big Bears Twitter follows, great guys, talking with you guys on Bears Twitter all season long. Malcom, it's good to have you on.
Man, I'm excited to be here, Alex. I've been following you for a long time. And, Will and I, we've been having some Twitter conversations for like this last 7 or 8 months. Mm-hmm. And I was joking with Alex. I said, man, I met Will because he was beating me down over my admiration of Mitchell Trubisky. And he was giving me all the Nick Foles tape and telling me all the reasons why I needed to let him go. And here we are with him trying to save Matt Nagy's job.
No, you guys have been bringing it, and I really appreciate it. Well, it's good to have you on, man. I've been following you on Twitter since like 2018, and you've always had great perspective and great Bears Twitter content.
Yeah, man. Same here, man. I've been following you. I know we've been trying to hook up, but my kids in the background, so you see me step away. That's what I'm doing on regular.
It's all good.
Busy lives, so you know how it is. But man, good, both good follows. How it goes. We don't always agree on everything, but we respectfully agree. Yeah. That's what it's all about, man. So,
at the end of the day, we all want to see Bears wins. Bears chaos. Yeah.
Exactly.
Listen, that's honestly what keeps me grounded, man. I know all the passion, whether it feels positive or negative, it comes from that place. People just want to win so desperately. Yeah. And everybody's tired of the losing, so they're ready.
Yeah. Think about at a game. Think about going to a Bears game. Do you get like in these arguments at a Bears game? Yeah. I've never done that. Like you just at a Bears game, like, yeah, go team. Like I keep that in perspective when I see people just like with the snarky comments. I'm just like, it's like you had a game, you had a beer, I had a beer, we'll high five. We got a first down, we keep it moving.
So let's get into this a little bit. So the news today in the last couple of days is Deshaun Watson being unhappy in Houston and being Bears fans missing out on the chance to draft him in 2017. We're obviously tuned in and kind of hyped up about the chance that maybe he might come available. The report is he's extremely unhappy with Texans ownership after they promised him input on GM and head coach hirings and then went and hired Nick Caserio to the GM role without asking Watson anything about it or for any input. And then Watson also wants the Texans to look into Eric Bieniemy to be their head coach, and they won't even interview him. Mm-hmm. So I think he's got reason to be pissed off. Malcom, what's your thoughts on the Watson drama? And do you think there's any chance that he might end up going to a different team?
Bear fans are going to hate me, but I think there's zero chance that the Houston Texans will trade their number one quarterback who gives them the quickest path to being a playoff contender in a championship team. I think right now he's frustrated. I think a lot of the frustration is probably due to ownership because we've heard the stories about just kind of how they roll, how they interact with the players. It didn't seem like it was always a respectful environment. It feels like that trickled down to the relationship that he had with his head coach, Bill O'Brien, and I think he's still feeling that. And I think he's at the point now as a player where he feels like he's really showed the entire league what he's capable of. He's performed above and beyond his draft status, and he feels like he's earned that right as the face of the franchise to be able to at least have a voice. Now, I think personally, I don't think players should have a voice in a GM search because also I think the GM search is kind of one level above where they have to look at the entire personnel view. But I do think at some point he'll probably be involved in the coaching search. And I honestly don't blame him for being upset about Eric Bieniemy not being given an opportunity. Not necessarily because they have to choose him because that's who Deshaun wants, but he is one of the top head coaching prospects in the league. So why wouldn't he be given that opportunity? So I understand that. But honestly, I expect this to be one of those things where they bring Deshaun in and say, let's have a conversation. Let's all kind of take a breather and let's focus on how we're going to move this forward together.
Yeah, I think he's frustrated, especially this weekend, because he's looking at Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, the young quarterbacks being in the playoffs and being in position to contend. And he's over here at like 4-12, breaking records, putting up these awesome stats and numbers and nothing to show for it. So I think he's frustrated, especially this weekend. We'll see if it calms down. What do you think, Will, on that? What's going through Watson's mind right now?
I'm gonna agree with Malcolm a lot on this. Like, I'm having fun with it on Twitter, posting the memes and retweeting. But for me, it's just fun. It's like entertainment. Like, my kids are like controlling the TV, so I'm just like sitting there just tweeting, not watching anything. So it's more entertainment for me. But I'm old enough to remember when Kobe Bryant tried to force his way to the Bulls, right?
Yeah.
He told kids go buy a Bulls jersey, and we were supposed to be trading. We were Ben Gordon, or he didn't want Luol Deng involved, and he ended up staying with the Lakers.
Yeah,
I think this is like one of those same situations where he ends up staying. They do something to appease him, but I don't think he's going anywhere. Why would they trade him?
Yeah, why would you? When he's you get a franchise quarterback and someone with that much potential and that much ability, why would you change it up? But I do.
Yeah.
I'll agree with what you said about the coaching. Why wouldn't you, if you've got a franchise quarterback, an elite quarterback, why wouldn't you want his input on the head coach to at least make sure that they're on the same page and make sure that they're going to want to work together? That's part of the issue with Chicago is that we drafted Trubisky and then hired the coach, then hired Nagy the next year, and Nagy never really bought into Trubisky. He couldn't run his full offense. And that's why I think Nagy pulled the cord week 3 because he couldn't wait to try somebody new. You know what I'm saying?
I do understand but I think it also goes both ways, right? So I don't necessarily think the issue with bringing Nagy, my issue wasn't that Ryan Pace selected Matt Nagy to be the head coach that would install the offense that gets the most out of Trubisky. Mm-hmm. My whole issue with the Trubisky draft was I think in an ideal situation, you would like to have your head coach involved in your quarterback selection decision.
Yes.
And ultimately, if that was the case, it's highly probable that Coach Nagy would not have selected Mitchell as the quarterback he wanted to build his offense with. Doesn't mean he didn't think Mitchell was going to be a good player. Just didn't think he was a great fit for what he was trying to do. And so I think, when I think about this quarterback being involved in the head coaching search, I also go back to remembering Jay Cutler, Mark Trestman, and Bruce Arians. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't necessarily have any insider information, but some of the rumors were that part of the reason that the Bears selected Mark Trestman was that he had a better connection. Jay felt more comfortable than what he felt with Bruce Arians. But I think at this point, everybody would agree that Bruce Arians was probably the best choice for the organization, and that did not happen. Yeah. So I think I really see both sides of the coin. I think Deshaun should be integrally involved, but I don't necessarily think you want your quarterback selecting your next head coach. I don't even think the quarterback really wants that type of pressure either.
Yeah, no, I can see that. So, I mean, we'll see who the Texans end up hiring, I think, right now because it's in limbo. And also with bringing in Caserio, Deshaun Watson's like, oh, we're going Patriot way again after all the Bill O'Brien stuff. And there was rumors about Josh McDaniels being the head coach and so and Matt Patricia coming in as DC. Like, Watson's like, no way.
My God.
But I think if they go and get someone like Brian Daboll, Joe Brady, a good head coach, Watson will calm down a little bit. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. Then they get him a weapon. They trade for somebody, pick a wide receiver. They'll try to do something to try to make him happy, man.
Yeah.
It's a pipe dream. If he's available, I say, hey, try to go get him. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm not going to be like, oh, my God, we got to get Deshaun Watson again. That's what Bear fans are going to do. Bear fans right now. And I love Deshaun Watson. You guys know that. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm not going to be like, burn the organization down and get Deshaun Watson. It's a pipe dream. And then you got to compete. Like, the 49ers might be a team that want to get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
They're picking in the top 10. So if we offer a first and they offer a first, I'm taking their first. I'm not taking the team to pick, So, and then he would want to go to San Francisco because look at San Francisco.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to go to San Francisco?
Yeah. I
feel like San Francisco might make me look good.
Exactly. They make Jimmy Garoppolo look good. Deshaun Watson put up Mahomes numbers out there.
part of the issue I think that we'd run into is Ryan Pace ready to admit defeat? Is he willing to take that L and be like, I messed up on Deshaun Watson, now I'm going to go get him? You know? So you never know.
Yeah, you never know. It's a pipe dream in my eyes, you know.
Well, quickly, let's talk about last week. So we were so hyped up for that game against Green Bay. It was an opportunity to go into the playoffs. We controlled our own destiny, get on a 4-game winning streak, and go into the playoffs hot and have the fans believing. And tell me what you think. I feel like, so I said going into it, it needs to be ground and pound, ball control, keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. That's our best opportunity. But I felt like the game plan, at least to my eyes, was too passive and too underneath, like 5-yard passes, and they didn't allow Trubisky to throw down the field much. I know he did to Mooney on that one, but it was like I just didn't like the game plan, and I felt like that was one of those games where it's like it's a prove-it game for Mitch. Go throw it down the field, trust your arm, trust your reads, and either throw 3 or 4 touchdown passes or throw 3 or 4 interceptions. What did you think on that, Malcolm?
I agree. I mean, honestly, I feel like most Bear fans were disappointed. I think ball control made sense. So let me back up. I did not realize how far our defense had fallen. I knew we had struggled the last 3 weeks. I think I was hoping more than kind of just following the trend line that they would be able to find one last great performance from that defensive line with Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn, who actually they didn't play poorly on the line. I thought I saw more pressure in that game than I had the last few weeks. So they brought some juice. And I just thought that maybe they would be able to step up, get a few turnovers, and then we just keep playing offensive football the way we had, which was a little bit of up tempo, mixing in that play action boot game with the RPO to help freeze those defensive ends and linebackers and kind of create space. One thing I don't necessarily think the game plan, although it was ball control, was to have Mitch hit guys consistently for 5-6 yards in the flats. I just think Green Bay covered it really well.
Yeah.
And we didn't necessarily have a lot of counters and answers, because when you look 1 week prior, when you look at some of those concepts they were running, obviously we had the guys in the flat, but typically there was another guy like 15, 20 yards down. And Mitch hit a couple of those in the Minnesota game, hit a couple of those in the Jacksonville game. When I go back and look at some of the great film review that some of the folks on Bears Twitter have been doing, I know Will does some, I know Unfiltered Bears Fans does some, and a few others, I didn't see a ton of openings in that middle of the field that we were working the last couple of weeks. And we didn't necessarily try to really attack them like on the corners and the boundaries on the sidelines like I thought we would. So I think it was partially taking what the Green Bay defense was giving us. My main frustration came with the red zone, because despite all that, despite them playing this well, we got to the 30s and 20s in the red zone. And that's the part where I really wanted the team to open it up more. You know, I wanted to see them attack. On one of the plays after the Darnell Mooney bomb, we didn't even have our 2 best tight ends on the field. Yeah. To try to throw a fade pass or a quick out that's kind of been automatic for our offense. And I think that's where I was disappointed, is that I feel like when you get down there, yes, it gets condensed. Yes, Mitch might throw a pick. But at the same time, if you're not going to be aggressive and just keep throwing short of the first down every time, you're going to be asking for kicking field goals. And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, that's why we got in so many 4th downs on that one drive, you know, by underneath. And my questions were similar. Where was Graham and Komet in the red zone? And where was the back shoulder throw to A-Rod that's been so successful this year? Trubisky's had so much success with. What did you think? Like I was saying, I asked Malcolm, I was like, I just felt like the game plan was too passive against Green Bay. I felt like that was like a prove-it game for Trubisky, where I wanted the Bears to tell Trubisky, go out there, read the defense, and let it rip, and see what you can do, and throw either 3 or 4 touchdowns or throw 3 or 4 picks, and that way we know what we have. And instead it was like they were trying to protect Trubisky from themselves, the classic like Nagy, you know, protecting Trubisky, not opening up the offense. What did you think on that?
It was probably partially that, but I think some of it had to do. I think Green Bay is a way better team than us, like from top to bottom. They are, you know, and I think, and so like their game plan was probably like keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands because you see what happens when he gets the ball in his hands. So anytime you play a great quarterback, you want to ball control. You want to keep the ball, run the ball, keep it, have these long drives, and then keep your defense fresh. We miss opportunities, those interceptions, the defense. Vildor dropped a pick. Eddie Jackson dropped a pick. Mingo dropped a pick. Those are huge.
Mo, like, that Mingo pick, that hurt me.
It hurt.
A near pick.
When you playing Aaron Rodgers, he's playing like that. He's the best quarterback in NFL right now at this moment, right?
Yeah.
Not Pat Mahomes, not Russell Wilson, is Aaron Rodgers today. You can't drop interceptions. You got to take advantage. When you're in the red zone, like Malcolm said, like you said, you can't just kick field goals. You got to score touchdowns. And we can kick field goals versus, you know, a middling team, Vikings, and, you know, put up 28 points. We can win. You can't do that versus Aaron Rodgers. The defense had miscommunications. We got MVS on Trevathan.
Oh man, poor Danny.
They should have called a timeout. Like, you can't. No linebacker, especially Danny Trevathan, at 30 years old, can't run with MVS. He ran like a 4.3 in the combine.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, he's perfect. Like a middle tier quarterback won't see that. Aaron Rodgers was like, oh yeah. He had Aaron Jones on that side to block the corner blitz. He called him over because he knew the corner wasn't going to make it in time, and just dropped a 70-yard bomb because he is the best player in the NFL right now, and you can't make the mistake.
What did you all think about going for the field goal at the 2-yard line?
Oh my God, yeah, you got to try to score, dude.
Yeah, matching up against Aaron Rodgers, a hot offense, you gotta, you know your defense is down 2 corners. You gotta be aggressive, and you gotta put points. Because
one thing I'll also say is watching that game. It not only I don't think it's only that the Green Bay has better players. For example, we all remember that beautiful like 60-yard pass that Mitchell threw on that rollout to Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
But I was watching the play. Did you notice how close Darnell Savage was to closing on Darnell Mooney on that throw?
Yeah.
And that caught my attention. I was like, man, I've never seen anybody really run step for step with Darnell, and he almost picked it off. So I did a little research, and I found out that Darnell Savage ran a 4.36 40.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney ran a 4.38.
Yeah.
And then and it finally clicked with me, and I said, oh my goodness, okay, this secondary is going to cause some problems when you had that type of closing speed.
Didn't Amos run like a 4.4? Amos
has the speed too.
Yeah.
Jair Alexander.
Yeah.
All those guys.
So they all have some dogs out there that really cause problems. And the other thing I noticed though is obviously there was either a discrepancy in talent where we weren't quite as good, but also coaching.
Oh yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the game. But Matt LaFleur has found a way to make offensive football even easier for one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Aaron Rodgers hit so many open passes since we've been watching him in this rivalry? Like the matchups that he's creating for Devontae Adams and MVS against the linebacker, it's like they're doing whatever they want, and it's easy money. Even to Will's point, there's nothing a linebacker can do with the receiver.
No.
There's nothing when they put Devontae in the slot. How many of us feel confident that we're going to be able to stop him?
Yeah.
No.
We feel like that's an automatic first down or touchdown.
Yeah.
And that's
why I said
to me, that's
the
the scheming disadvantage.
I know Fuller doesn't follow guys, but this is the one time when Fuller should follow guys. Like
exactly.
You got to have him like no matter where he goes, you follow him.
Yeah, how many times was Vildor matched up against Devontae Adams? It's a mismatch waiting to happen. Like
Duke Shelley, like come on, man. I
will say this. I'm a big Vildor fan. So Vildor's got a feisty.
They're young
not Jalen.
He's not working Devontae. Yeah. Now, so what do you think about this? It was 21-16 in the fourth, and we were driving, and we had an opportunity to take the lead. Is there any optimism based on we were right there against probably the best team in the NFC, the top contender in the NFC? Like missed opportunities. We talk about the 3 dropped interceptions, missed opportunities in the red zone. We could have won that game without our mental mistakes and hurting ourselves.
5 minutes to go. Part of yes and no. If we didn't get defeated the way we lost in those last 6 minutes, I would feel a lot more confident going into this New Orleans game.
Yeah.
Because my question is, when the rubber meets the road and we're in 4th and 1 and we're in 3rd and long, I feel like the good teams have their money plays.
Yeah.
We're going to put Devontae Adams in the slot. He's going to eat up that corner. We're going to get this first down, touchdown easy. When I go back and look at the plays that we choose, I feel like everything for this offense comes difficult sometimes. I'm not seeing like those matchup problems that we create on purpose where as soon as before you snap the ball, oh, got you. I'm not seeing that same advantage. And with the Saints going into the Superdome, from what I see, I think the last 8 weeks they've been one of the top 3 defenses in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to copy a lot of that Green Bay blueprint that gave us problems. They're probably going to also rush their DE off the edge and have them come straight to Mitch, force him to kind of throw that into the flat, throw short instead of going intermediate. And I'm just curious to know what answers is the coaching staff going to be able to come up with. Because a lot of people put that game on Mitchell. I didn't see a lot of – he had an interception to Kmet that I thought he could have maybe bought a little bit more time and threw a higher, missed one early to Mooney. I didn't see a lot of misses by Mitchell. What I didn't see a lot of was open receivers that were schemed open. I'm curious, how are we going to change that going into the next game?
And we're going to need Mitch because this is a top 5 overall defense and a top 5 run defense from the Saints. So they're going to be tough to beat. Now they've been on fire. Will, what's your expectations for the Bears Saints? I mean, I go back and forth because I think we could make it a game. At the same time, we could get our ass handed to us. So I don't know where to go on this.
I feel the same way. The thing is with the Saints right now, Drew Brees, I would say this, he is not Aaron Rodgers. Right? He's still good. He's a damn good quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks. But this is probably his last year, right? He's coming off an injury. He got real problems. He's limited. He can't throw the ball that deep. So I think they can kind of – you still got to worry about Kamara, but I think that their offense, you can kind of keep the plays in front of you. And you can get the Drew Brees. The question is, like you said, the Saints have a pretty good defense. You can score on them, but it's going to be – we're going to have to see. We're going to see some shots. Like, I understand kind of they were trying to control the ball, keep it away from Aaron Rodgers, dinking and dunking. You're going to have to see more shots like that shot to Mooney. You're going to have to run the play action, run the boot, run the ball with David Montgomery. But just with those boots, you're going to have to roll out and take some deep shots. If you can take some deep shots and you got to take the chances to get the ball in the end zone, you got a chance to win because I don't think the Saints are as good as the Green Bay Packers. That's just from quarterback. Kamara is better than Aaron Jones. But outside of that, man, I'll take Devontae Adams over Michael Thomas, and he's coming off an injury.
That's right.
They're vulnerable. Right. And they got a history of losing. And plus, we owe them for Zach Miller. Right?
Oh, my goodness.
That's true. Good point.
And I remember that was actually Mitchell, I think, has played pretty well in dome stadiums. I think he's like 5-0 in dome stadiums. We could fact check that. When I look at also the things that I like about the Bears, I think we have maybe a decent chance that Jalen is back. I know he's been limited on the injury report the last couple of weeks. That would be a huge pickup, having his physicality, his press coverage skills, I think would be a really nice dimension to add to the team. Who else is coming off the injury list for? Oh, Deion Bush. Okay. I think Deion Bush, I noticed he was a full participant on the injury report today.
Roquan is out.
Because Roquan is out. And listen, Roquan is out, but even if he was in,
out?
I don't think so, but I'm a guess.
But yeah, it's not looking good, and they haven't announced it yet, which could be good news. Like maybe they can, wear a brace and give them some painkillers. I don't know.
Well, honestly, man, with elbows, I don't know how you feel about that, Will, but when I hear elbow, I don't think like 1 week healing period.
No, but I'm thinking like old school football player. You know what I mean? Like, Urlacher bucket somebody would have like tape that thing up. Give me a shot right on the sideline in front of everybody. I'm playing. It's a playoff game. But
take the finger off like Roddy Lott.
Cut it.
Roddy's wife was like, "What did you do? Do it again."
Now, getting Jalen back will definitely help. And they're beat up, like they're coming off, Breeze coming off that nasty injury for a 41-year-old. Also, Michael Thomas, also Alvin Kamara coming off COVID. A lot of, They're without Quan Alexander, who's out for the season. Latavius Murray's expected to be back, but yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think Mooney's going to play, right? I know he practiced today. I'm not sure. Yeah.
You know, and one thing I'll say, Mooney was getting hurt on those short passes last week, and I applaud his bravery, but I would I would like to get him a little bit more space because his frame, he doesn't have the frame to absorb that type of impact consistently.
No.
Right, so I don't want to expose him as much if he's able to go. One thing I will say, even as disappointed as I was in the offense, when you look at it from a pure stat standpoint, I think we had something about 350 total yards, about 20 first downs, one time of possession by 11 minutes. So it's not like it was just a mess. It's not like they weren't moving the ball. And, I mean, we have to give them credit. What did they convert, like 4 fourth downs?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when's the last time we've seen the Bears offense do that consistently? I remember a time when whenever Bears tried to convert on fourth down, we already knew what the outcome was going to be.
Yeah, because you know why? Because Nagy, except for that sprint out, he psyched himself out on that. I'm lining up, I'm running the quarterback sneak, and that's what good teams do.
Yeah.
That last one, he kind of got, you know what? They know I'm going to run this. No, bro, bring every offensive lineman you have on the field with just a quarterback. I'm having 10 offensive linemen. I'm just pushing. I don't care.
Just go get it.
I don't care if you – there's no sneaking. I'm pushing the ball, dude. You know you can do about it. First down.
Go get it, big fella. Go get it.
And he was doing that. And he just let that one – I'm gonna run a shotgun and sprint out. Like, no.
And when I look at that, and Will, when I look at the sprint out, I kept looking at it. A-Rod wasn't open.
There was nobody else to throw to.
I don't know if Mitch could have even got that yard running because they were looking at him.
Yeah, there was no one to throw through.
So that was dead. That play was dead as soon as it was called.
Yeah. I know Nagy couldn't help himself on that. He loves that. But anytime it's fourth or third and short, and we come out in shotgun, I'm already
But he got away from it. That's the thing. Yeah. He was doing so good. He stopped doing it. He was like, I'm running quarterback sneak. And it was working.
Yeah.
And hopefully he learns, like, hey, dude, I'm in that position. I'm not doing it. Quarterback sneak.
Nagy took us back to the Arena League.
No. Like, if you don't get it, like, I'm not even mad at you if you don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, if you
but I will say this, though, Will.
Sneak, I'm just like,
to be fair, Will, I was reflected on that. I was reflected on that play, Will. And then I thought to myself, I know why he did it. Remember, 4th and 1, Detroit Lions, Soldier Field. A-Rob's not able to get his foot out of bounds. He goes to the running play. We get no penetration. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if that was in the back of his head to say, can I really trust these guys when everything is on the line to go get it? But they had done it.
Yeah, that drive, they had done it. And I don't know. Yeah, I hate it when Nagy does that stuff. And I think it's, you know, of course he said Laser took over play calling, but I think we all agree Nagy still got input, especially on those plays. And what's your guys' gut? Because so chances are we're not going to win the Saints game. We're hoping, but chances are high. What's your guys' gut for this offseason? Is anyone getting fired? Is everyone coming back? Is Mitch going back? Or is Nagy in pace?
I'm going to let Will go on this one.
That Rap Sheet already said Nagy's coming back, right? He put the tweet out before the Packers game, so he ain't getting fired. And I always said this, Pace and Nagy are tied at the hip.
Yeah.
So if Nagy's coming back, Pace is coming back. There's rumors that Pace may be in another position and may hire a GM where he's kind of like the vice president. They're going to get rid of Ted Phillips, and he may be actually promoted, right? So he's not going anywhere. I think Mitch is back unless they can find like a clear, obvious upgrade. Yeah. And this is what I've been arguing on the internet, dude. Sam Darnold is not an obvious upgrade. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are not obvious upgrades. Jacoby Brissett, I like him. He's not an obvious upgrade. These guys have not even had good seasons as Mitch. You can't say, oh, I think this guy's an upgrade. Why do you think he's an upgrade? Well, because I like him. No. If they can't, he's back. They probably draft a quarterback in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round or something like that. And, you know, you can't trade Nick Foles because it costs more to cut him than to keep him. And he's a decent backup and a mentor or whatever. You know, he's only making $4 million. So, you know, Chase Daniels made more than him. So I think you might see the same team back with offensive line upgrades, maybe another speed receiver, maybe you get an edge rusher. But you can do some things with this roster. You know what I mean?
Run it back.
Yeah.
Now, Will, let me push back on you because I know everyone may not know this, but you're a big Alabama Crimson Tide fan.
Oh yeah,
so
Roll Tide.
Let's say the Bears pick up Mac Jones maybe late second, third round. Do you just roll with Mac Jones as your starting quarterback?
No, I mean, look what we did with Mitch. Like, I'm totally against that. Oh, draft a quarterback, throw him in there. Let him sit. Like, roll with 3 quarterbacks like Green Bay. Green Bay had Aaron Rodgers, Boyle, and then what's his name, Love. He's a third quarterback. That dude ain't sniffing the field. So you get Mac Jones, you put him on the bench, you have him hang out with Nick Foles, teach him how to run the RPO, and then we try to win games with Mitch. And if Mitch blows up, then you keep him. If he doesn't, then you can let him go and you got the young guy.
Yeah.
But you got to think deeper. You can't just I think people get caught up in. They get so angry because they're like, I wanted this guy and I wanted that guy, and they just like we're ready to blow everything up. That's not logical. Teams don't work like that.
I will say this, Will. I've noticed it because I noticed. So the reason why Will and I connected so well for this year is because we were always able to we were on opposite sides of the Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles debate. Right. I remember I even said that the only thing Nick Foles is going to be leading this year is Bible study. Right. We were both kind of right. We were both kind of.
Which is true.
And Will was right. I was right. I was a little more right.
Yeah.
but with that, what I've noticed is there's a legit anger towards Mitch Trubisky. I think because he's not Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Because he's not Patrick Mahomes. And one of the things that I've noticed is it's almost so much anger and discussion about what he can't do is that there's never really been appreciation about what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's within this run and let's be honest, the O-line has made improvements.
Oh, yeah.
But those tackles, they still struggle in pass protection.
Mm-hmm.
Our middle of the line is our strongest, but that's not Kyle Long out there in the middle of the line. There's a reason why the boot game is in. It's not only, as people like to say, Mitch is running a high school offense. Well, part of that is that, our line doesn't stand up that well when they face really good defenses. So we got to get Mitch away from that so he has room to operate, get him a clean pocket, and get some clean throws. And that's a skill. Like, that mobility is a skill. The ability to throw on the run is a skill. The ability to get an easy first down on a 10-yard, 15-yard run, that's a skill. The 60-yard pass to Darnell Mooney, that was a dime ball with the hand in his face. So he has skill that if you use it properly, it can yield some really good results. And I think part of the reason that fans are so upset is that when they see him, all they see is what they don't have. But I'll tell you this, my view is if Mitch had been used properly, this would be the third straight years the Bears would be in the playoffs. 10-win team last year, 10-win team this year. So I believe he's proved himself as someone that you can win with. Now, but I'll stir it up a little bit. I think Pace and Nagy are going to come back for sure. Yeah. Only because when I look at my calculator, I think Nagy has 2 years left. Pace has 1. To me, it doesn't make sense to get rid of your GM and force a head coach on a new GM.
Mm-hmm.
That's backwards. And then it also doesn't make a lot of sense to extend Ryan Pace and let him pick another head coach without proving that he could actually build a championship team. So to me, you run it back. Now, here's where I think it gets interesting. My question is, does Mitch want to come back? Because one of my favorite exercises the last few weeks is looking at the body language between Mitchell Trubisky and Matt Nagy on the field. Have you all noticed when Matt Nagy tries to give Mitch advice, Mitch is kind of like, all right, coach, all right, I'm good. Yeah. Like he's waving him off like Chris Tucker on Friday. He's like, no. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe they have a great relationship. I think they have a functional relationship. Mm-hmm. And it makes sense. How could you trust Matt Nagy as Mitch Trubisky if you feel like he kind of gave up on you and blindsided you, kind of with the Nick Foles switch? And then Matt Nagy doesn't completely trust Mitch that he's going to make the right decisions in his offense. So I think it's going to be a really interesting decision. Here's a scenario. Let's say Mitch wins one playoff game against New Orleans, increases his stock around the league a little bit more. Let's say opportunity comes up and maybe Pittsburgh, if Big Ben retires, Drew Brees is retiring. Maybe Mitch is having his audition for the Saints on Sunday, right? So what if he has an opportunity with one of those teams and it comes down to the Bears and that team? what does Mitch decide to do? I think it's going to be a really interesting decision. Does he take his chances and go somewhere where he's competing to be a starter? Does he stay with the Bears where it's a little bit more guaranteed? I'm curious to see how this all plays out.
It's a good question because that also brings up is Allen Robinson coming back at that point. And the Bears – so I saw a great tweet by Mike Brez who was like he showed like all the quarterbacks in the league right now that are going to be Hall of Famers and where they were drafted. And he was like, Hall of Famers are not drafted, they're developed.
That's right.
And the Bears are such a bad organization at developing quarterback talent and getting the most out of them. And so if you're Trubisky and you look and you're like, A-Rob's no longer there and I still got to deal with Nagy, do I even want to come back? So that's a question. So yeah, it's complicated. I hope I'm all for an upgrade if an obvious one shows up. And I'm with you on that, Will. Like I was arguing with a friend last night and he's like, anyone is better than Trubisky.
No, bro, come on. Like, that's when I get in trouble because I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
You can do worse. You really can.
Like you can. Like one dude told me, he was talking about the Sam Darnold. He's like, well, I'm not a stat watcher. I'm like, have you seen him play? Like I'm not even talking about his talent around. Like, did you watch a New York Jets game?
Seeing ghosts. Like we don't need that.
This dude throws off his back foot on every throw.
And part of that is the situation he's been in, right?
Yeah. But
I mean, honestly, listen. Yeah. First of all, I'm a big fan of when you put the young QB behind a suspect offensive line, that's when those bad habits continue. Yeah. Not that Sam isn't talented, but is he just going to come in and magically, kind of get it all back in one season? That's probably going to take some time.
And that's what I'm saying. Why would you try to work with him? And I think he has a lot more to fix than, let's say, Mitch has to fix. Mitch has some stuff to fix, mainly his deep ball, which is mechanical. Like I'm not a QB mechanical dude. But I think, and the reason why I say I think you can improve that because a guy who I compare him with a lot, Alex Smith, improved that. Like I'm freaking 41 years old, dude. Like I'm not like 23. So I remember Alex Smith in San Francisco when he couldn't throw a deep ball, when all he did was run bootlegs.
They really gave up on him, yeah. Yeah.
And then he went to Kansas City. He wasn't all that in Kansas City. He was throwing for like 2,800 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. He was just like, man. And then eventually he developed his deep ball. And then, they drafted Mahomes and he was off, so.
And then Alex saw him in training camp and said, oh, this is probably my last year.
Yeah, he's like, okay. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with him being the Alex Smith. I kind of thought, I was wrong was I thought Nick Foles was going to be the Alex Smith until they found that Mitch Trubisky. But Mitch Trubisky might be the Alex Smith until they find their Pat Mahomes. I think if you can bring A-Rod back if you want to, which I think they can tag him. If they bring Mitch back, A-Rod's probably coming back. And like you build off what you have instead of tearing it all down. You can bring A-Rod back. You can bring Mitch back. You can draft a tackle. You can sign a right tackle on free agency. You can go out and draft, a speed receiver to go, to add into the mix, to get another edge rusher, opposite Khalil Mack and just use Robert Quinn as a rotational passer. You can build. Like I posted this. I don't know if you guys saw this. I was showing organizations, like good organizations.
I was going to say, yeah.
They go. The Saints went 7-9, 7-9, 7-9. That they won the Super Bowl, bro. I think they've been in the playoffs, and then now they go on another run. They never tore it down. You don't go.
It's interesting, Will. Like I don't. They've been so good. I don't remember the 7-9 season.
Exactly. Like think about it. The Bears upgrade the offensive line and go on like a 2 or 3 year run where they go 10-6, 11-5, 12-4. You won't even remember they went 8-8 back then. Yeah. But they made the playoffs. You'll be like, yeah, they're always in the playoffs. They always like got a playoff team. They're always good. It's the perception. And once your perception changes, but you don't get like it's hard to go from 3-13 to 12-3, 12-4 overnight. We did it, but it was because we actually had a lot of good players that just needed a few things and we took off. Most of the time, it don't work like that. If you're bad, and another byproduct of being bad, real quick, is that you can't sign free agents. Do y'all remember us trying to sign AJ Bouye and Gilmore, and we couldn't sign them? Like people were like, oh, Pace signed Marcus Cooper. Well, because that's the only person that wanted to play for you, bro, because you suck.
Yeah.
You don't get free agents when you bad, bro.
And that's the reason why. That's the reason I've never been a proponent of tanking. I feel like it's about retooling and rebuilding on the fly.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But you win. You have a winning program that players want to be a part of. Players want a chance to be in the playoffs. That's why they do this.
Yes.
I mean, every single person on that 53-man roster, well, how much is it now? 60. They're all hurting. They're all in pain right now. But this week, all they're thinking about is we got to put that behind because we got a chance at this trophy.
Yeah.
And that makes it all worth it, you know?
All you can ask for is the opportunity, playoff football. And normally it's all the tickets you're going to sell, all the money you're going to make off of one playoff game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. I think so. When I said all that, I do think Mitch is the best bridge option as a quarterback. I asked Will because I don't that's a little bit out of my depth to analyze college quarterbacks. So I can't tell you like who's ready on day one except Trevor Lawrence, which everybody knows, right? You know, but outside
Lawrence
of that, it's
Pills
so rare for a QB to come in their rookie year and be ready in that way.
That's the only time you kind of throw a season as if you're the Jets and you can go get Trevor Lawrence. You see that, you know, once in a lifetime transcendent talent, you know, and I think Zach Wilson's going to go too high. I like Mac Jones out of Bama. I don't think he falls out. I really don't think he falls out of the first round.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, because teams are so quarterback hungry, and we're going to get a good glimpse of it on the playoff, the national championship game. Mac Jones can play.
Didn't he go like 25 for 30 in his last game?
What?
Didn't he go 25 for 30 in his last game?
Yeah,
I mean, he had a good game.
He's crazy accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think more, you know, I don't know if you guys have seen like Jamie Newman.
Yeah, I like Newman.
I think he's more like realistic, and I would love to bring him in. Who knows?
Ritter in Cincinnati. Ritter?
Yeah.
Desmond Ritter?
Yeah.
Desmond Ritter, yeah.
You know I like those North Carolina quarterbacks.
Yes, he would say
Damn how. Yeah, but see, you can still draft the quarterback. Like Russell Wilson, all these guys, you get guys in the third round, fourth round, like Dak Prescott, and, you know, everybody knows Tom Brady. You know, even Kirk Cousins, we give him a lot of crap. What was he, a fourth-round draft pick?
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, Minshew was a sixth rounder. Like, you can get quarterbacks. Just draft them. Just draft Ritter, put him on the bench. Mitch starts, Foles is the backup. He could be the backup / mentor. And then next thing you know, Ritter's tearing it up in camp. Oh, man, we found a gem.
And isn't that what Pace said? Isn't that what Pace said? That good franchises draft quarterbacks almost every draft? And we don't do it?
Who did we get? Who did we draft?
We drafted Mitch. Nobody in the late round, no developmental guys.
Tyler Bray.
We was screaming for him like, Jake Fromm, just pick him in the fourth round. He's right there. Nope.
Man, I haven't heard Jake. Man, Jake is so lucky right now that Josh is balling out there in Buffalo.
Speaking of Trevor Lawrence, I don't know if you guys heard about this. So what if – all right, so the Jags are talking about hiring Urban Meyer. Have you seen that?
Yes, I did.
If the Jags hire Urban Meyer, what do you think the chances are? What if they trade the number 1 overall pick to the Jets and take Justin Fields number 2, pair him up with Urban Meyer?
Oh, wow. Man, you know, it's so I'm not trying to be a prisoner of the moment. Justin Fields looked good in that last game, didn't he?
He did.
He was making some big boy NFL throws for sure. That's a tough one. I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
Yeah.
I think Justin Fields is so intriguing. Like, I feel like if you were to say who has the most upside, it has to be Justin Fields, right? Like with that athletic ability, with the arm strength, with the beautiful deep ball that he has.
When he was throwing it against Clemson, absolutely.
You know, now the only thing that makes me pause with Justin is the games that I've seen him against quality defenses like Indiana. Yeah. And was it Northwestern? I didn't even know Northwestern had a quality defense, so they played. And he struggled a little bit. Now, hey, listen, that's part of the quarterback evolution as well. Is struggling against good defense and learning from it and recovering from it. But, you know, in general, it feels like Trevor's a little bit more ready. At least he's, you know. But gosh, Justin Fields is not a bad consolation prize.
Honestly, for me, it goes Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and then maybe Justin Fields. Like,
oh man, Zach, he
like
does some
Zach.
electric things too.
Yeah, and Trevor is like the home run guy. He's a safe pick. I'm going Trevor. If I got the number 1 pick, I'm taking Trevor.
Yeah, me too.
So
I'm not even blinking.
Yeah. So we're about to close this up, but let's do. You guys have Super Bowl predictions. The playoffs about to start. I'm hyped, not just for the Bears, but every game. 3 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday.
What are the games? You have to remind me of the games.
Let me pull them up here.
What's the slate?
Let's see. One second. I wasn't prepared.
I'm trying to find it. So report.
Saturday at 1, we got Colts Bills.
Colts Bills?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be another Josh Allen coming out party.
Yeah, I got Bills, Rams, Seahawks.
Or it could be an upset.
Will, you're right. Man, Colts they do have the makeup of that team, that power running game.
Yeah, that power running game.
Better than Phillip Rivers.
Defense.
Yeah.
That could be an upset though. You're right.
Because the Colts 11-5 and they're a 7 seed.
Yeah.
That's that's tough.
And if you remember,
the Bills,
they blew a lead last year in the playoffs. The Texans.
Yeah, but that's a different Josh Allen. That's not the same. That's not the same guy.
I'll still give it to Bills. I'll still give it to the Bills, but that is upset.
Should be a good game though. Rams Seahawks at 4:40.
Woo!
I got Seahawks.
I got Seahawks. Jared Goff.
It's in Seattle?
Yeah. I like Jalen Ramsey versus DK Metcalf though. That's gonna be must watch.
Jalen's gonna shut him out the way he does everybody.
Yeah.
Because although Darnell put him on skates for a couple plays when we got together earlier this season. But man, it's hard to pick against Seattle on the road, but they don't have any fans in the stadium. Is Jared Goff playing?
He's playing, I'm pretty sure, but he's got a messed up thumb.
Okay. There has to be Seattle then. Although, listen, did you guys watch John Wolford play?
Wolford, he did all right.
That's another Carolina quarterback.
There you go. Here we go.
All right. And then the Saturday night game, Bucks at Washington.
Oh, that's easy. Blowout.
Yeah.
Should be Bucks, but you never know.
Alex Smith playing. They say Alex Smith has a calf.
Yeah, he needs to play. If he doesn't play, it's over.
This is going to be like 50 points.
And then, so I like this game. Sunday at 1, Ravens at Titans.
Ooh.
Is it time for Lamar? Is it time for Lamar to exercise the demon?
It's time.
It's time.
He needs to win a playoff game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to win a playoff game.
I'll give it to Lamar this time.
I like Henry and Tannehill over there.
But I don't know. Green Bay showed a pretty nice blueprint.
Yeah, they did.
I was honestly, when I started feeling bad about the Bears was when I saw Green Bay shut down Derrick Henry, and I said, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
But we did a much better job actually in our running game than they did. So I got to give it to Baltimore on that one.
All right, and then Bears Saints at 4:40.
Bears.
Man, here's the thing. The Saints, I think, although they are the second-ranked defense over the last 8 weeks, I think they're like 28th, 29th in the red zone.
Yes.
So maybe that will create some opportunities for us to be aggressive and be successful.
Throw the tight ends, please.
Yeah, so I'm just going to be a homer and say the Bears are going to shock the world and pull an upset.
And then we get the rematch. We get Bears-Packers for a third time if we do it.
In Lambeau.
Yeah.
In Lambeau.
I'm picking Bears. I can't not pick them.
Although this time, if we get the Packers in the rematch at Lambeau, I want 2019 Mitch in Lambeau. That was probably, it's interesting. We only got 13 points, and that was probably one of my favorite Mitch games that he played. If you go back and watch those highlights, he was making some big boy throws that game.
The 2018 one, dude, when we clinched.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That was like not even just that he beat the Packers, but it was like one of his best like games that he played, like the plays he made, like on the run.
Yeah.
Oh, like the one to Adam Shaheen on the left sideline.
That's one of those games I was like, okay, we finally got a legit. We got a
okay. Okay, you win. I'm out here picking loss. I'm picking losses.
With the hat. When he had the hat. We won. Vic Fangio did the polls with the
Yeah. Let's go with that. Let's go with 2018 Mitch, clinching at Soldier Field, and we get back to Lambeau.
That's the key. Is I think Trubisky gains confidence if he gets a couple good runs in, and so I think we need that. And then the Sunday night game, Browns Steelers.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But you got the
Steelers got COVID
with no Kevin Stefanski in that game.
No Kevin Stefanski. He's got COVID.
Yeah, he's got COVID, so they got an interim coach. I got Steelers big.
I got Steelers too.
Yeah. I think so.
I'm not that. Baker is like, he's a cool quarterback, but he's overblown. Like, he is way overhyped.
They got to feed the running game. That's the only hope, really.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They got running backs.
I got it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the. I'll have to go with the Steelers as well, only because. Now, I will say this. Cleveland is probably positioned better than anyone to run a great ball control offense.
Yes.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah. So I think that, to me, that's a toss-up game.
Yeah,
maybe I'll go Browns. I'll go Browns.
It's a tough one. They could. I mean.
Not because I believe in Baker, but I believe in the way I believe in their approach to the game.
And the Steelers have lost 4 or 5.
That's
right.
So
you never know.
Yeah, they got
who's your Super Bowl?
Ooh. Man, I don't even want to.
I'll tell you mine.
In the Super Bowl? Oh, man.
I'm not going chalk. I like to pick upsets. I'm riding with – so if there's one team in the AFC that I trust that could beat the Chiefs and gave the Chiefs their toughest test last year in the AFC, I'm going Titans. Give me Derrick Henry in that run game. And then the NFC, if there's one team that can go into Lambeau and beat Green Bay, give me Tom Brady and those weapons. Give me the Bucs. So I say Bucs, Titans. I like to be different. What do you guys think?
I'm going to say Bucs because I don't want to root for the Packers to make it to the Super Bowl. and we beating the Saints, so. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay. I think Kansas City going back-to-back in the Super Bowl. That's my pick.
That's a pick. And just so I could be a little bit different, give me Baltimore, Tampa Bay.
Oh, I like it. Baltimore, if they could get that one playoff win out of the way, maybe they can go on a run.
That's right. I think it'll be a lot of fun watching them play. I like their game plan. I would love to see Lamar take that next step this year. I think that would be exciting for everyone.
Yeah.
So,
it would be.
Well, good stuff. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. That was a good episode. I really appreciate you guys coming on. It was awesome.
Hey, thanks for having me, Alex. I had a blast. I want to meet Will anyway. We haven't had a chance to connect.
Oh, yeah.
So thanks for bringing everybody together. Hopefully this will be the first of many more.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be in touch. I'll hit you guys up. We'll keep talking trash to each other on Twitter. Keep it going.
Oh, yeah.
You got it, man. You guys take it easy.
Thanks for the listeners. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And have a great week, guys. Playoffs coming up. And
all right, y'all.
Bear down.
Bear down.
Bear down.